Birth and Death Registration Law, life-changing with a single paper. At around 9 o'clock at night outside the district hospital, a father was looking for papers in an old cloth bag. Inside, his son's scholarship file was stuck. Outside, his hope. In the bag there was a discharge slip, a vaccination card and a school form. But one thing was missing: a birth certificate. That very small paper, without which the child became incomplete in the system. The employee sitting at the counter looked at the screen, then said softly, "There is no record, and it has been more than 2 years since the birth." The father realized for the first time that delay is not just a delay. He had thought that the certificate would be made any time. But now a new term came forward: Judicial Magistrate First Class. Right from here, an ordinary family story reached the doors of the law. On the other side of that same city, a woman went to close her husband's bank account. Death had occurred, rituals were completed, but there was no death certificate. The person at the bank showed sympathy but returned the file. The insurance company also said the same thing: bring the death certificate. The grief was private, but proof was being demanded from the public record. This is the place where the registration of birth and death does not remain ordinary paperwork. It becomes the key to identity, inheritance, school, passport, pension and civil rights. Now on this very key, the government has placed a new lock. According to PRS Legislative Research, the Registration of Births and Deaths Amendment Bill 2026 was introduced in the Lok Sabha on the 29th of July and passed on the 31st of July. From the outside, this change looks small. Just a section, just an approval, just a procedure. But the real question is, why did the government become so afraid of certificates made late? The answer does not come directly, because behind this lies not just forms, but an entire hidden world spreading to fake identity, property disputes, insurance claims and voter records. In India, information about birth and death is normally given within 21 days, and according to the official civil registration system FAQ, no fee is charged during this normal period. If registration is done on time, the process remains normal through the local registrar, hospital, municipal body, Gram Panchayat or authorized office. The new change does not target those people. The real turn comes where someone comes to get a record created many years after a birth or death. Then the system asks, why this entry after so much time? In the old rules, for a delay of more than 1 year, the district magistrate, subdivisional magistrate, or authorized executive magistrate could give an order after verification. No matter how long the delay was, the route was broadly the same. In the new bill text, this very path splits into 2 parts. For a delay from 1 year up to 2 years, the DM, SDM or authorized executive magistrate can give an order. However, if the delay is more than 2 years, registration will happen only on the order of a judicial magistrate of the first class. Meaning, the file will move from the administrative table to the judicial table. Here the story suddenly becomes heavy. Because on one side, the government is saying, we have to stop fake certificates. On the other side, a poor man from a village is asking, how will my genuine event be proven? A birth certificate is not just a memory of a child's birthday. Many windows of school admission, Aadhaar, passport, government job, social welfare schemes and legal identity open through it. Similarly, a death certificate is not just a note of death. Through it, bank accounts are settled, insurance claims proceed, pensions are updated, and the ground for property transfer gets prepared. Now think, if a person wants to change age eligibility by showing a wrong date of birth, or wants an identity created with a backdate, how big a threat could it be for the system? There can be misuse in death records as well. A wrong death entry can turn property, pension, insurance and family disputes in a direction where truth begins to get lost in the courtroom. Therefore, the government's logic is clear. Every entry arriving late requires more scrutiny, because the more reliable the civil record is, the stronger governance will be. However, as soon as this very logic lands on the ground, it creates a new question. Is every late entry a fraud, or is it many times simply a story of poverty, distance and unawareness? In a tribal area, a child was born at home. The hospital was far away, staff was low in the panchayat office, and the family felt that they would get the certificate made after the naming ceremony. Then the father went to another state for seasonal work. Documents remained locked in some trunk. The child started school, and in the 5th class, a birth certificate was suddenly requested. Now for that family, it did not remain just a formality. It became a battle to prove that the child who sits in the classroom every day also exists in the records. Similarly, an old farmer died at home. The village gave a shoulder, the pyre was lit, rituals were completed, but the government entry was never made. Some years later came the time for land mutation. The sons opened the papers and found out that in legal records, the father was still standing alive, as it were. This is the strange truth of civil registration. Life and death happen at home, but the state acknowledges it when it gets recorded in the register. In 2023, major reforms connecting this system to a digital database were implemented, and it is also written in the statement of objects of the bill that birth-death registration is mandatory and the certificate gives legal identity. The digital record made the certificate even more powerful. Now, an entry does not stay merely in the local register. It can get linked to a larger chain of welfare planning and identity verification. However, along with power, risk increases as well. If wrong data enters the system, it can become not just a wrong spelling, but a wrong identity. This is the reason why the government wants to make delayed registration strict. Its message is, report on time, otherwise the wall of proof will be high later. However, the scene in Parliament was also dramatic in itself. According to a report by the Economic Times, the bill was passed in the Lok Sabha on the 31st of July 2026 by a voice vote amidst opposition protests. Meaning, the law whose effect has to reach the counters of villages moved forward rapidly without a long public debate. And this very thing increases curiosity further, because an ordinary person often understands the law at the counter, not in Parliament. When the clerk says now this file will not move without a court order, then the real impact becomes visible. A judicial magistrate does not always mean fear. It gives legal seriousness to verification. It provides a way to look at witnesses, documents and facts in a more disciplined manner. However, reaching the court is not easy either. People may have to gather papers like affidavits, hospital records, school records, vaccination proofs, panchayat certificates and witness statements. If the documents are old, the name is written in different spellings, or the village record is lost, then a small certificate begins to feel like an entire family project. And here comes a new twist. The people who want to cheat the system often find ways to forge documents. Those who are truly poor remain searching for original proofs. Therefore, the success of the law will not be decided by strictness alone. It will be decided by how clear, affordable and fast the path of help remains in genuine cases. If awareness among ASHA workers, Anganwadi, Panchayat secretaries, schools and local registrars in villages strengthens, delays can reduce. However, if awareness does not increase, the new rule will become a silent shock. People will wake up when the file gets stuck at the time of admission, passport, inheritance or insurance claims. In cities, a digital trail of hospital births is found. But the world of home births, migration, disasters, floods, old record rooms and family negligence moves differently. This is India's contradiction. On one side is digital India, on the other side are homes where even the most essential document is kept in memory, not in a plastic folder. A birth certificate can become an entry pass for a child's future. A death certificate can become the most essential step for the legal closure of family members left behind. Therefore, this amendment is not just news about late registration tough. It tells that in a modern state, identity now runs not on emotion but on evidence. A father can say all the villagers know that this is my son, but the school, passport office and government portal will say show the record. A widow can say the entire neighborhood saw the last rites, but the bank, insurance and revenue office will say where is the certificate? The law wants to bridge this very gap, but while bridging the gap, it also demands that people make the most emotional moments of their personal life an official record on time. This seems like a simple thing, but after birth, joy, medical recovery, financial worries and rituals go on in the house. After death, shock, grief and family disputes arise. In such moments, registration feels like the last thing. But this very last thing later comes forward as the very first requirement. This is the most important turning point of the script. The certificate of birth and death is not a document of the beginning and end of life, but the foundation of the entire legal journey in between. When the government plans where a school is needed, where a hospital is needed, where the pension burden lies, where the population is shifting, then birth-death data becomes a silent engine. If births are underreported, planning for children can become weak. If deaths are reported late, health policy, pension and population data can get blurred. Therefore, the record belongs not just to the family but to the nation as well. Every entry transforms a small personal event into national statistics. However, the balance here is the hardest. Keeping data clean is essential, but keeping access clean is no less essential. Otherwise, the system will look strong, but people will stay standing outside. For remote and poor families, the legal route can be intimidating. Just hearing the name of the court, many people think, now it will take money, time and rounds. If the government truly wants timely reporting, strict rules alone will not be enough. doorstep awareness, simple forms, local help desks, and digital support will be equally essential. Because delay in getting a certificate made is not always cunningness. Sometimes it is illiteracy, sometimes migration, sometimes distance to the hospital, sometimes fear of the system. Come back to the story. That father did not return empty-handed from the counter this time. He took the list of documents, asked for proof from the school, and understood for the first time that records saved the future. That woman also left the bank crying, but that very evening she started gathering old hospital papers, cremation receipts, and statements from neighbors. Both suffered different griefs, but both understood the same thing. In life, there are some tasks that feel like a small expense to postpone, but later turn into a big burden. This new change should not be read to scare people, but it should not be taken lightly either. After 2 years, simple registration can become a legal journey. In the end, the real matter is this: a birth and death certificate is not a cold piece of government paper, it is the door to identity. If it remains open, rights are received. If it closes, an entire life can come to a halt.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible, but in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.